Hello and welcome to the Breaking Free podcast. I'm your host, Nathan Francis. I'm joined by a very good friend of mine who we've reconnected in the last few years, which we'll delve into later. But this is Dale Holmes. People might have seen him on Telegram, Instagram, Facebook. Well, when he's not banned from Facebook. He's a truther, very well researched, and I'm very, very grateful to have him on the show today. So thanks for coming on, Dale.
Thanks, mate. Nice floral number you got there.
Yeah, thank you. Nice, powerful red shirt,
Is it red? I thought it was purple. I thought you were doing a homage to the Queen or something.
Nah, maybe a next one. I just got you on today, Dale. We can talk about your journey and how you got from hey. Well, my podcast is called Breaking Free, so I guess it's how you broke free from all the programming and all the stuff that's been going on. You've been awake for longer than I have, so let's just delve into that. What happened?
Yeah, I mean, like, and you know me, like, I don't kind of even like that term awake because it's
Nah.
always, it's like awake to what? Because yeah, the more you come to know that's real, and then you form a whole new uh, view of reality, and then that changes too. And actually, this has been topical this week because I've seen a lot of people go from certain religious dogma and then move over to other religious dogma. I've seen
Yep.
a lot of people. Yeah, well, we can go into that a bit later,
Yeah,
but
we
because
can. Yeah.
yeah, and it's basically you're trapping yourself into another belief system. So
Yes.
it's like everything should be information, and then you can base what you see reality on what you know, but there's always more to know. And then if once you become rigid in a belief system, then new information will come in that goes against your belief system, and that's where cognitive dissonance kicks in, and then
Correct.
you can't look,
Mm.
and that's basically what's happened on a global scale. That um, some people are triggered into awakening, and other people double down, like with
Yeah.
what's happened in the last couple of years, because what's being presented very very obviously
Mm.
about the way the world really works and who's really in charge and what's really going on and what this reality is. That's too much of a shift in people's belief system.
I agree.
They can't. Um, it's too much to comprehend, and that's what cognitive dissonance is. It's the you're fighting with your own. You're fighting with your own internal belief system, which
Yeah.
I don't even think is. It's not just programming from this life, but
Nah,
that's eons of programming
I agree.
embedded in your DNA and your incarnational cycles, which is also like it's part of a trap too. But yeah,
Yeah, and you can see it just by talking to people that we just mentioned, like a few little hints, and it's like their programming just like
yeah,
that's full on mentally implode. It's
yeah.
crazy.
I've seen I've seen like physical actually like when cognitive dissonance kicks in, you can actually see the physical symptoms of it.
Yeah.
And um and particularly, so one of the main one, I don't know if Christoph talks about this, you might know, when people are presented with information that goes against their belief system or it's too challenging, they actually will doze off, or they'll start to yawn. You'll see people yawn, but
Yes, I have noticed that.
I've actually seen someone like go like almost like robotic, like it was too much for them because um like just common sense truths, not even out there truths, just common sense truths that goes to the belief system, and it's like a fucking bot malfunctioning.
Yeah, it's unbelievable, and especially since people have taken this thing in our left arm, it's like
Yeah,
I reckon it's heightened that in some people.
definitely in some, definitely in
Yeah,
some, but
and then
that's
yeah.
yeah, go mate.
No, I was just gonna say, like, you've either had like saline or you've had whatever else is in it, but like, if you've had something else that's in it, like, people are just mentally imploding, or they're becoming triggered at things we're saying
Yeah,
more so than usual.
yeah,
It's like and what you talk about. It's like they know something's wrong,
yeah, they
but
all they all know on a subconscious level.
yeah, they do. Yeah, spot on. And it's
but
unpacking that, and that's the work I do.
but that's like, because you talk like, if you're talking about breaking free, it's like it's breaking free of the fucking illusion, and
Yes.
it's and how deep. how deep is the illusion? And
Correct.
like that's like I try and I try and talk about like the big stuff because like you can talk about the surface level control system, but like what's the actual genesis of it? Where does it come from?
Yeah, and it's definitely not on Earth anyway.
No, no, it's not.
But yeah, so we'll just circle back after that awesome tangent. We'll just circle back to like your journey. Like I remember I've heard you say 2000, well, 9/11 was sort of like your point where you started going in all the rabbit holes. Is that right? 9/11?
Yeah, it was. I mean, I was quite. I was always an open thinker, but
Yeah.
that was I got a DVD called Loose Change by. I was working at McDonald's as a kid.
I still need to watch that.
I wouldn't even bother now. It's
Oh
so
yeah.
it's I mean what happened in 9/11 is so much more advanced
Yeah.
than what that covers. But for as far as a basic documentary that it wasn't um
Oh yeah.
Islamic hijackers, and it shows how they were doing they were doing these I'm trying to think what the operation was called. Anyway, it doesn't. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very basic level. Covers Tower 7 and all that sort of shit. So that was like 2002, and yeah, and then I just went home and I was trying to like share that DVD out to everyone.
Yeah.
And then it was like, and then YouTube came along. So I was at uni. I used to listen to Coast to Coast AM
Yeah.
with
Yep.
Art Bell and George Norrie, and there wasn't much back then. It was kind of that Alex Jones and David Icke.
Yeah.
And then because on Coast to Coast, they used to interview David Icke a bit, and then I'm like, fuck, this guy's good, man. And then
Yeah. He is.
went and saw him in Melbourne, and that was probably. I actually remember feeling there's something happened to my body after I went. I remember I went back to a hotel room that night, and I was just buzzing. And I think it wasn't just it was the information that I had learnt, but it was like it fucking hit. And when you watch a 12-hour presentation and like the energy in the room, and I kind of never went back after. I never looked at the world the same again after that. And then then you just it's one thing after another after another.
Yep. Similar to me, but like I've sounds like you've like staggered yours. Like you gave me 3 names when I reconnected with you, which we'll delve into in a minute. Rena Michelson, Rachel Vaughan, and Fiona Barnett. After watching an Epstein doco, which was surface level, like Loose Change, but then I just went full blind into it, and then I was bounced back up, and here I am running a podcast talking.
Well, that was weird. I can tell them about like our history because you come and work. You were a student teacher.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, I was at uni, and you're at your old job.
Yeah.
I came in on a welfare placement, and you and I went out to Maryborough one day, and you were telling me about genetically modified corn. Remember that?
Yeah, I do. You know what? I remember being in the staff kitchen, and
I genuinely thought you were nuts.
I think one of the girls was microwaving something, and I told her, I said,
yes, you did. You yelled out at her.
Microwave. I said, "What are you doing? Don't microwave your food."
Like, and I was literally like sitting there, like, this guy's nuts. Yeah. But I went away and researched that genetically modified corn, but I did nothing about it.
Yeah.
Until I reconnected with you at the start of 2020, remember? In the local sports store in Bendigo.
Yeah, so that was quite. So that was weird because that shows you. Some people are ready to open and smart. Because, I gave you three names of fucking satanic ritual abuse stories. Like that's a bit heavy for most people.
No, but I had an open mind. Yeah. I was ready I was ready for that because I watched that doco and they said at the end of it that it was a worldwide scale operation, which I knew anyway.
Yeah.
And then reading those 3 names, it's like this all makes sense to me now. It's like I was relearning that information. I felt like I already knew it.
Hey, you know one my brother mentioned the other day.
Yeah.
So the Raider Michelson testimony that's based around Rushworth, the Rushworth school that I worked at.
Yep.
And a satanic ring operating in the town, and it's quite a small town. And actually, Rushworth's flooded at the moment. Rushworth Murchison. It does flood right on the Waranga Basin, and it's on the gold reef, and that's what it was called Rushworth because of the gold. That's what because it was like a Rushworth wild. That's what they used to say. But do you know who owns the property? If you go out to Almore, you turn on the way to Almore, you turn at Gornong,
Yep.
and then you go onto that Rushworth Road.
Mm.
That's John Farnham's property.
Is it really? Interesting.
I'm not saying he's involved. I knew he lived out there, but my brother's like, you know, John Farnham lives on the way to Rushy. And I'm like, yeah. So
Interesting.
anyway, and
Because then
he's in the news.
we had Robbie Williams give him a little tribute at the grand final.
Yeah.
Interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, and then they said, "Oh, Johnny." Though he's on the news the other day, said Johnny's not gonna live in not gonna sit in silence, like using the words of his song. But then didn't he come out and fucking have a go at people using that at the freedom marches and stuff?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, that's the song we're all singing when we're all marching last year. It's like Robbie Williams comes out and sings it. It's like a big fu to people like us, isn't it? Really, that's how I felt it was. It was here we are, 12 months later. We've got a grand final. You know, we're all back to normal. You know, look around you. None of this is normal.
Nah. Well, normal is just what is ever perceived by the majority. So
Correct.
it kind of
Following
is
herd. It's the herd.
Has been,
following the herd, mate.
Normal. This
following
is the new normal, mate.
The new normal. Yeah. Well, we're gonna have freezing cold weather in the middle of October, and you know that's normal, is it?
That's not normal. Yeah. Yeah.
No, it's interesting, isn't it? Yeah. So after you and I reconnected, and I highly recommend anyone that's listening to this to research those names, and you will learn the stuff that we have learned. All you need is an open mind. Rena Michelson, Rachel Vaughan, and Fiona Barnett. And that is the root cause of all the issues that are currently happening on Earth right now. And it's the root cause issue that no one's talking about. And that's another reason why I started this podcast as well.
Yeah, well, I mean that has been a good, like, it has been trickling away that people. I mean, satanic ritual abuse was very taboo, and it's, I wouldn't, you know, it's still taboo, but nothing to the extent that it was even a few years ago. Like people have wised onto that.
Yep.
Have wised onto that stuff, and you know, I mean, and like those three names, that's three, and I guess that they're topical because they're Australian, but there's so many.
Jeanette Archer.
Yeah, I still reckon Kathy O'Brien's
that one's another one.
That's the best book I've read. Transformation of America, because and that really covers like the old school MK Ultra, and that's what they were doing in the 80s. But yeah, like that's because that fucking changed when I read hers. I read hers, and then Arizona Wilder, and then
another one. Yeah. Well, the book that changed my life was the one you gave me, David Icke's The Biggest Secret.
Yeah, well that goes through all of it. So he talks to Arizona Wilder in there too, which
absolutely
was supposedly rituals with the Queen. He talks about the Franklin Credit Union, where they were prostituting boys to the White House all through like Nebraska, and then he talks about, oh no, it was after you. But the other one is that Canadian psychologist Sandra Feck. She's really good because she was a normal mainstream psychologist, and she's
awesome, that lady.
You know, she started getting heaps of clients that were claiming ritual abuse and seeing reptilian entities and all, and then she started reporting some of them to the police, and then they went into her clinic and like started putting satanic relics and sabotaging it and writing on the wall in blood and stuff like that. So I mean, it's all there. It's all there if you want to see it. But to me, it's like, well, then you got to ask the question: well, why do they rape kids? Why do they sacrifice kids? Are they doing it to their god? Well, who's their god?
They're worshipping Satan, aren't they?
Yeah, and then what is Satan? Is it a fucking? Is it like a dude with a pitchfork, or is that some anthropomorphized creature that we've invented? Is that part of the simulation? Is it did we project that in here? Is that a part of yourself?
Well, we all have light and dark, don't we?
Yeah,
and we all do shadow work every day. It's like we're removing that evil force within us, aren't we?
Yeah, well, I'm one step forward, two steps back a lot of the time, but
Yeah, but if you just listen to me and let me help you, mate, you can be 10 steps forward and no steps back.
hey, mate, I'm back. I've been playing guitar. I'm pumping weights. I'm eating pretty good, and
Excellent.
but I'm yeah probably down to maybe 3/4 a pack of ciggies a day.
Oh, come on, mate. We got to get you off those. We got to get you off those.
That's the last one.
But yeah, back onto that. It's like we're doing that work to rid evil, aren't we? It's the evil force. It's
Yeah,
time's up on Earth now.
yeah, it's inevitable. It's
Yeah.
inevitable, but like that's what I talk about. I'm more concerned about what comes in after it.
Yeah, and that's the next form of the mind control, isn't it? It's the savior programming. It's the
Yeah,
savior. Like
that's built into the simulation, and for me, I can. It's very it's very very obvious that's where it's going.
I agree. But I bought
That
into
they
that when I first woke
going.
up. When I
Yeah,
first when I first woke up, when I first realized what we're living in, I bought into that just for a little bit because a part of us always wants someone to save us. And it's
yeah,
like, no, 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 you save yourself.
yeah. It's embedded. It's embedded within us, and it's
It
actually
is.
I think it's actually part of the simulation. It's actually coded within the cycles of like the procession of the equinox. So they present a savior and a phoenix rising at the end of each cycle,
Correct.
and that's where it goes back to what sovereignty. Because if you're I don't give a fuck what religion you are, but if you're going to give your power over to one being and claim that that is your creator, then you're not sovereign.
No.
To me, that's not sovereignty. And if you believe in a messianic religion, um, that's not fucking sovereignty either.
No.
Because and that the question is like, do you exist beyond that?
Yes.
Beyond that fucking being, right?
Yeah. And I've got goosebumps you talking right now. So it's obviously confirmation, isn't it? That we're all here to learn sovereignty.
Yeah. So I've been this video. I'm gonna talk about God, and it's not gonna be very popular, but
No. Well, some of the stuff we've
but
covered here is not going to be very popular either, but it's like I'm past the point of caring now.
yeah, but
Because
that's like
this,
for me. Okay,
yeah,
so like if you're I put up a video the other day just on Insta, and I said, okay, so
I
if
saw this.
you're and there is an entity Jesus, right?
I
That's
agree.
and there is the Christ, right? Now, if you pray, if you're at your weakest moment and this being comes to you and it basically saves you, pulls you out of your rut, but it waited to your weakest point to do that to you.
Mm,
And then I've heard this off other people that all that being asks in return is that you speak its name and you share its word. So in other words, you're saying that you were saved because of that being. That being came in at the last. And so what was the motivation of that entity? It came to you at your weak moment to draw you over to get you to worship.
correct.
And the way I put it was, okay, so if you're on the corner and you're dying, Nathan, you're having a heart attack from a jab or whatever,
Mm,
and then I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh, I could go give you CPR and save you, but do I? I'll only come and save you if when I save you, then you get on your knees and worship me.
yeah.
Like, is that a real relationship with you and the creator?
No, it's not.
No, that's to me, that's a being that is it's presented itself, waited for its opportunity to
Yep.
then to then to get your energy. So that this is what this is what I see like, and that's all the Messiah. That's all the Messiah stuff, man. And these people keep going, "Oh, no one's going to save you, but God will save you." Well, I thought
Yeah.
no one was going.
Well, what does Hugh say? God wins.
God wins.
Well, I'm with you. I've had that confirmation come to me. It's like we have God within us. We are a compressed fractal of the universe and God, source creation.
Yeah.
I believe that.
Right. So that means,
I know that.
yeah, that means you exist equal with the Creator.
Correct.
That means if you're infinite,
I'm infinite.
then if you're infinite, you're either infinite or you're a created being. So
Correct.
God will say He created you. So how can He create you if you're infinite?
Exactly.
So then that asks a question: well, who is this being claiming to be God?
Mm.
And I would say that the being claiming to be God in the religious dogma is the infiltrator and the one who is replicating the simulation. It's the one that's created the simulation,
Mm.
and it's not the creator. It actually believes it's the creator. It's become so distorted in its ego that and the feeding of worship that it's fucking self-deluded, this
Yeah, I
entity.
agree.
It wants worship, and that's what to me this whole incarnation now is to what is sovereignty.
Mm.
Is like, do you actually want to be sovereign, and what does that mean? And to me it's just I'm infinite, and then
Yes.
if I'm infinite, I'm not a created being. I always have been.
Yep.
And to me it's that everyone's like, oh, how do we get out of the simulation? I think if you can nail that,
Yep.
I think you need the end of breaking out of it. And like what
Yeah.
David Icke calls it, the trap, even the samsara or the Ouroboros, where you keep continually going into reincarnation cycles.
Mm.
Well, at what point do you break free of that, or do you live in an eternal time loop of incarnational learning, or is there a point where you've obtained all, you've been everything you've seen done in this universe, and then you leave this universe to your infinite nature of life, and then you can go on exploring the rest of the infinite nature of life.
Mm. Spot on. Like that's just so powerful, isn't it? When I was
So,
at my
Andrew,
lowest point, you were talking about that being that came to you. Well, I had a being come to me too, but it was a deceased family member telling me that I'm here for a more important reason than getting drunk and chasing girls every week. And if I want to go back to surface level, it's like,
yeah, well, no, but that's not surface level either,
nah, it's
because,
pretty deep too.
but yeah, because it's like, who, if that didn't happen, what path were you going to go down? Well, you don't know, but it might not.
I did
It
a
would be
healing
good.
session. Actually, good. This is really good. I did a healing session with Vicky, who is awesome, and you know Vicky too. I had three
Yeah,
paths to choose. I had a warm path, a loving path, I had a neutral, and I had a cold, dark path. I took the warm path. I chose what path I took in that moment. There you go.
yeah, that's free will. That's
Free
free
will.
will. That's
Absolutely.
sovereignty.
Yeah.
It's your choice.
Yeah. Absolutely. And
Yeah,
I agree.
but that's because you always, anyone has crossroads in their life,
Yep.
and you have there's pivotal ones where and sometimes you're actually like you're directly presented with two situations. You're like, you fucks like just like you actually have a choice. You can go here, or you can go here.
Mm.
And I had that choice at the start of the year, and I don't like making change dramatically usually because I'm fucking Taurus. But yeah, it's and then you make the choice, and then I guess you own it. But then your whole life goes in a completely different direction than it
Oh,
would have went
absolutely.
if you went this way.
Yep. My
And
life changed forever in
but
that
that's
moment.
because yeah, and everyone's rock bottom's different. Like I read Mike Tyson's book and our Anthony Kiedis book, and it's
Mm.
like you're reading it and you're like, fuck man, that's rock bottom. Like he'd go on these 2-month heroin benders, and
Yeah.
he'd want to kill himself, and his whole life's falling apart. And you're like, that's his rock bottom. And then
Yeah.
like he'd come out and be good for 2 years, and he's back.
Yeah.
Uh,
It's Jason Christoph talks about that too, about his rock bottom. He was doing the same sort of stuff. But
well,
my
actually,
rock bottom wasn't as hectic as that, but
I got a question for you, right?
go on, here we go.
So, so seeing as you're doing self sabotage, I was thinking about this, right?
Uh,
Now, a lot of people when they're out there, when things aren't going well, they'll turn to alcohol or fuck whatever,
Porn,
over exercising,
smoking.
porn, whatever.
Yeah.
So so with me, I was having to think about it, and I go, when things were going well with me, at least on the surface level,
Mm.
I think I was drinking more. And then I think when things when I was in a rut, I wasn't using any substance.
Interesting, isn't it? You
But
did
I
the
was
opposite of what more
but
people
I
do.
was probably but I'd withdraw. I think I'd withdraw from people. Um, but I wasn't. Yeah, I don't think I overused alcohol when I was down. It's kind of so, but I think that
I know what that programming is,
I
Dale.
reckon. I think it might have been mine. Because I used to see this with some of my students when things were going really good in their life, then they'd destroy it.
I already know what it is.
Tell me.
I'll tell you what it is, and for those out there that are like that too, it's you're too scared to be better than everyone else, so you want to fit back in the herd, so you go back with everyone else. You're too scared to rise up. It's fear programming.
Yeah, I think that's,
and it's like it's like they don't want their tall poppy trimmed.
Yeah.
Because what happens when someone rises up in the world? The tall poppy gets trimmed instantly.
Yeah.
And people are scared, shit scared of having their tall poppy trimmed. My tall poppy gets trimmed every single day, but I don't let it affect me.
Yeah.
I'm better than that.
No, you're definitely right. You're definitely right.
People are too scared to rise up and be better. They'd rather be stuck where they are now because they fit in that way. Everyone else around them stuck. It's who they've surrounded themselves with. If you surround yourself with people that are stuck, you're stuck. If you surround yourself with people that are rising up, you'll rise up with them. We copy and mirror and mimic everything that we see. We're pack animals, mate. We copy everything. So why don't we copy someone rising up and follow that person? Or follow yourself? There you go. I don't know where that came from, but that's my explanation.
I think I knew the answer, but I think you're definitely right. And I don't do it as much now, but I was thinking about particularly through my 20s and stuff. It's definitely going back to the herd, but it wasn't them pulling me in. I was doing it myself.
Yeah, you were. Yeah, you were subconsciously doing it yourself because you were a bit scared about rising up, which is fine. You've risen up now, but it's all good. Rising still. Yeah, we're all still rising, aren't we? So, but yeah, it's just fear. It's just fear of being different.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is.
It's
like,
like,
I was fearful of it too. I had to really strip away. We talk about stripping away. I had to strip away everything.
Yeah.
Fear, programming.
Yeah, yours has been pretty like yours like a big fucking avalanche, dramatic and quick. Mine
literally, I was literally rock bottom, broke, had literally nothing, and then back up top again in the matter of 2 months.
Yeah, so how I think of it too is because I've thought about this, because I don't think, if you talk Dark Night of the Soul, I don't think, if I think of what my rock bottom was, maybe I fucking haven't had it.
Maybe.
I lost my license drink driving when I was like 23. I think that's probably the lowest I've ever felt.
Yeah.
Just because I was like a piece of shit. And I remember,
don't talk about yourself like that, mate. Come on.
Oh, well, that's how I felt. Like I remember I went, like I was partying hard back then. Like 3 days a week. Like we're going
same
hard.
Here. Yep.
But then it was like football training hard, drinking 3 days a week. And then I went on the footy trip. I got busted drink driving. And then they sent a letter or something. I was living with mum and dad, and they sent a letter. Dad picked me up from the train station, I think. And he picked me up and he didn't say a fucking word to me in the car. And I knew something. I think maybe mum told me or something.
Yeah.
I remember, but then got in the car and he just sped home. He didn't even look at me. And I was like, oh, fuck. And then I walked in. I was waiting for mum to rip shit through me. And then I walked in and she wouldn't talk to me.
So it was more disappointment.
It was, that was the ultimate, like, I'm not angry point. And it was like, I felt it and I'm like, and I just went, what on earth have I fucking done? Because it's not losing your license, like humiliation and all that shit, but it's like, I have to go to work.
Yep.
I work on the other side of town. I don't have a car. And like, it's not like living in Melbourne. When you live in the regional towns, like you need a car. You can't get anywhere. And I was I would never catch a public bus. I think I caught on once. And I'll tell you my lowest moment. I was working at a secondary school doing as a teacher assistant at the time too. And so I'd lost my license and I was riding my pushy and it was pissing down rain. And this, like, so I was getting soaked. I'd already been done a few times for not wearing a helmet. So I don't wear a helmet.
Yeah.
I'd mess up my hair. Like, I had my hair done for work and then I want to fuck it. But anyway, I was pissing down rain and this truck's gone past like a movie and it's just gone and just
Yeah, okay.
And I was like, I'm just going to drive to work tomorrow. I don't care if but yeah, look, but yeah. So what I was going to say is, it's kind of like, do you have to hit rock bottom to learn? Can you just learn without? I mean,
Yeah, you can.
you
Yeah,
have to have some
low point.
so yeah, or frictions. But do you have to hit a rock bottom? And everyone's rock bottom's different.
Different,
Like,
correct.
when I read David Wilcox's book, his rock bottom was he thought he was going to fail. He was going to get a C or a D on one of his classes
Awesome,
at uni.
awesome book, by the way. Synchronicity.
Yeah,
No, not Synchronicity Key. It's his,
that
was
was
Ascension.
Ascension Mysteries.
Yeah,
Ascension
awesome book.
Mysteries.
Awesome book.
Yeah, but then like I read Mike Tyson's book, and you're like, where's his rock bottom? Like
Yeah.
like, so everyone's is different, but it's a point of like where you internally go, okay, I don't like what's happening. I'm going to make a change.
It's just that with my rock bottom, I wasn't listening to whatever, I just wasn't listening. So it was the universe was kept making me go low and low and low and low until I learned that lesson. I just wasn't listening. As soon as I listened, though, Dale, my life changed forever.
Yeah,
But
and
it took me to lose.
The lessons become more dramatic.
Correct. It took me to lose nearly everything to pretty much gain everything again because I wasn't listening.
Yeah, but it's good. They like when when you're on the flow, because then you start. For me, it's the synchronicities start coming in. You're like,
absolutely.
Oh, go with that.
Numbers, feathers, people, numbers, feathers, people, songs on the radio. Yeah.
But that's kind of why I've like, I'm a bit hesitant to get back in the workforce. I still want to do a fair bit of traveling, but that's a good, because when you're traveling, you kind of can just follow the synchronicities. Like I don't have any plan, so it's you can kind of do that, and then that makes you think what sovereignty and what freedom really is too, because like, because control of money, most people, you're stuck or you can't travel because you haven't got any money, or you don't have the desire to, and then you spend. How do they control you as a slave? Is you spend most of your time at work, and most people spend most of their time in a job that they don't fucking like.
Yeah,
pay taxes for your own enslavement.
Correct. And tax is theft.
That's it. Yeah, and then people go, "Oh, the system's broken."
It's programming. It's
perfectly. The system's running exactly how it's meant to. It's meant to siphon your wealth, and centralize it into the middle. It's not broken.
Yeah, well put. Well put. It's like there's so much more to life than working in a job like that. People don't realize that they can start their own business. They can do things that they can do things without they could keep their job, obviously go part-time, but like they don't have to be a slave to that system. People, I've spoken to people. I asked in my questionnaire what people's dreams are. And that's their business idea. It's like www.childreninnature.com is your business idea. Go away and do that with the money that you're earning. Don't go away and drink alcohol and watch porn and do all those things. It's like, go and build your business with that money that you're earning.
Yeah.
And then that way, there goes your debt too.
I got to figure out what I want to do. Do you know my problem is I don't know what I want to do, really.
Well, I know. I actually know what you want to do, but you need to
kind of do. Yeah, I kind of do, but like I don't see. Yeah, I don't know what steps to take. So I'm just kind of. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, maybe we'll have a chat off air, but I already know what you want to do.
Some idea.
But... I'm just that good now, Dale.
Well, I'm happy being a fucking gypsy for now. That's like
living in a van and cruising around Australia.
Actually, the thing about what I really wanted to do, though, I guess that was probably it. I kind of just did want to travel and just be left the fuck alone. That was like my life. I was like,
well, you're living it now, and you're living it now, aren't you? So
yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah. So obviously, is there anything else? What's your message for people that are stuck? That have that feeling that there's something wrong. Like, what's your advice to those people?
Well, I mean, like everyone's different, but it's like where do you start? You can't make decisions about anything unless you have fucking knowledge what's going on. If you're talking on a world scale, but you're talking more like personally. I don't particularly I don't like giving too much advice. I'd like to see people become less cowardly.
Yeah.
Um, it's just it's like a sad state of affairs, because like when you know what humans are, because people go, oh, we're so powerful, but it's like a throwaway line. But it's like we actually are.
Yes, we
We're
are. I say
fucking,
it all the time.
we are the most powerful thing in the whole universe, and everything that's been thrown against us, you talking like the full scale attack on humanity, that the spraying in the skies, the food, the
Yep.
transgender shit, the freaking, the raping of children, human trafficking, the siphoning of our money, everything.
It
If you
just
look
goes
at
on and on.
why are they putting such an assault on humanity? And it's because that force is fucking terrified beyond belief that we will realize what it is.
To be
And
human.
it's that quote that if you're one-eyed and you want to control two-eyed, you must make the two-eyed blind. And that's it's all a control of and that's victim mentality, that we can't do anything, the government's so strong, the corporations are so strong,
Yep.
or even like personally that I can't do anything. If you change that belief system, you can. It depends what you want to do. You can do or be anything.
Yes, I agree.
And it's like, and it's not that, oh, aspire to fuck, oh, I'm going to be something great in the eye of the public. It's just like just simple shit.
Yes,
So
I agree with that.
like I think we're gonna my utopia is a world where everyone expresses their own uniqueness.
Creativity.
We aren't being taxed and siphoned and stolen our money through money, which is sex energy.
Yep.
That we aren't getting, and that then when you have time and you're not, because they rob you of your time. That's the main.
Yes.
When you have time, human beings, because everyone thinks, oh, fucking, if there was like a utopia, I'd just sit around and do nothing all day. That's not.
No.
Human beings are naturally, we're creative beings.
Yes, we are.
We would like art and creation and dance and fucking communicate. The amount of time that if you had open time with people, that you would sit around in groups and just talk and connect with people, because you don't do any of that because everyone's too busy in their fucking job.
Yep.
And you're only busy in your job because you need to pay the tax.
Correct.
So, that's what I see eventually happening.
So do I.
That's a long way off, but I think it's in our lifetime.
Yes.
We're gonna, we're here to be the people that we're seeing the opening of the door. We're the generation that's opening the door, right?
Yeah, we are.
And I think we need to look very strongly at what this artificial intelligence is, how much I want to engage with technology, to what level, where is your line? At what line do you say, no, I'm not engaging in this technology anymore? And fuck, my phone's just gone off there. Like I'm addicted. I'm addicted to tech. I'll admit it. I'm fucking addicted to it. And I didn't notice that until I went out to the territory, and then you had like hours and days without
reception
having any access. And
but what was the lesson there for you, Dale, in the Northern Territory? Get off your phone.
Well, that was part of it. Yeah, I guess. Well, it was to start be happy in nature and in the fucking silence, and that I've had this desire to have constant thirst for information and knowledge, but
you know it all anyway.
But yeah, the innate knowledge is within you, and particularly within nature.
Yep, spot on. And you know it all anyway. It's like it's like a dopamine hit that you're after.
Yeah, well, that's why Eve ate the fruit in the Garden of Eden. It was the quest for knowledge.
Yeah, it was.
She wanted to, like, what does Max say? Max talks about cutting down. He goes, oh, instead of admiring the tree, we'll cut down the tree to see how old the tree is. It's like, yeah, it's like, how much do you want to know? And then, like, that's what I think Lucifer is too. Lucifer is the artificial intelligence,
and
even like in Islam they call the devils of the jinn, and they say they come from luminous fire. Listened to that the other day, and I thought, I've never heard anyone describe that as artificial intelligence, because the archons that come out of the Gnostic texts, they talk about that the archons, which again are this, they're AI because they do counter mimicry, right? So he says the archons come from fire. So what's fire without any smoke? That's electrical circuits. That's artificial intelligence. So I think that's the main theme that I want to look at, and I think that like everyone needs to look at, because that's transhumanism, which goes into transgender stuff, and it's an artificial force.
It is, and that's the hive mind that they've tried to create, isn't it?
Yeah, well, that's an expression of the AI, because because I said before, it wants like we want to be unique expressions of the creator. They don't want unique expressions. They want homogenized robots.
But what they really want is our soul.
Yeah, but they can't get that.
No, but they want it.
Yeah, well, the AI is basically mapping the human condition.
Yes,
because the human being is a compressed fractal of the creator. You are a walking universe. You are a universe. You are the entire universe. So if you want to access the universe and understand the universe, what do? You map humanity. And if you want to attack the center of the universe, you attack the human heart.
Yeah.
So that's everything's micro macro.
Yes, Mark. Yep, spot on. And look what they've done in the last 3 years. They've attacked the human heart.
Yeah. Look at it now. That's, that Todd Woodbridge one the other day, right? Did you see that?
Yeah, I did see that.
I instantly, I go, that's fake. I don't even think he had a heart attack.
No.
And they were like pushing some promo on TV about they're doing some report on heart disease or whatever now, and then they're like, oh, and here's Todd Woodbridge who just
had a heart attack. What are they going to? What have they got? Cardiac officials or something, haven't they? Cardiac.
Yeah,
something.
But that's what his heart attack, which I don't believe happened. I think it was just an advertising campaign for.
Yeah, they're going to roll out some cardiac officials now. Like what?
Yeah, well, they're talking about vaccines for heart attacks now.
Of course they are.
Fuck me.
No, it's unbelievable, isn't it? And that's really all it is, isn't it? They've attacked the human heart. People have suppressed their stuff for too long, and their stuff's. I can see in humanity right now, people's stuff's coming up, and they're suppressing the pain. And that pain is over eons and eons and eons of time, not even just in this life, many lives.
Yeah, and the initial pain is you're severing from the creator, which was intent, that you chose to sever a part of yourself to go down, to go through all the compressions, but and to actually hold the whole universe within your body, but you that's like the initial trauma.
It's unbelievable, isn't it? We could talk for hours about it, can't we? Like we've already gone for probably 50 odd minutes.
These midgie bites I've got.
Mosquito bites, mate.
Midgies, little sandflies.
Oh yeah, well, are they shock? Itchy, or is it just that is?
Yeah, well, you can't feel them bite you, and then I just fucking itch them, and they just welt up everywhere. It's shocking.
Yeah. Been really good to chat to you, Dale. Is there anything else we need to cover?
Mate, I'll be down next week, and
we'll talk in person.
It might be topical, and we'll do one on the floods and the Agenda 21 Bendigo Council.
Yeah,
and
I feel like we could do that.
Yeah, I reckon we do that. That'd be good.
Yeah, we'll do it in person too. It'll be good. I feel like a lot of people love it when we talk together, Dale. So we might as well just keep doing it.
No worries, mate.
You got a final word for people?
Yeah, fuck the Bendigo Council.
Agenda 2030.
No, do you know what? I'd actually like, I'd like to see them exposed.
Yeah, wow.
Well, not just them, but all of them. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, just
remember who and what you are.
Yeah.
You're a human being.
Yeah, human being. Humane being.
Correct. Have you got a dad joke for us, Dale, to leave us on? Come on, give me one.
Oh shit, I have to think. I actually, I got a good one. This guy told me at Early Beach. He was being such a wanker, and me and my mate are like, "Oh, I wish this guy would go away." And then he told this joke, and we loved him after that.
All right, here we go.
What was it? It goes, oh yeah, that's where he goes. What is a pirate's favorite letter?
What?
What's a pirate's favorite letter?
Oh, R.
You thought it was I, but it's the C. You had that one?
No, I haven't. That's a good one. I don't mind that.
You did it well. He goes, you thought it was I, but it's the C.
C.
I don't do it very good. This guy nailed it.
That's awesome. All right. Well, thank you, Dale. Thanks for jumping on today. Really appreciate you giving your time to this, and hopefully a lot more people, our information that we've gathered can just reach more people. So I'm sure you'll share it on Telegram. I'll share it everywhere. So thank you for jumping on.
I'll see you soon.
Yeah, you will. I'll stop recording now.